Hey everyone, Snarblex here. This is Risk of Rain, more specifically Risk of Rain Returns, a remaster of the original 2013 indie game released by Hopo Games. Risk of Rain is a series that has influenced me for nearly a decade now, and in this video we'll be talking about the original game from 2013 and its remaster that came out a few weeks ago. Let me take you back to the early 2010s. Me and a few of my friends were spending a weekend in a cabin up in the mountains. It was a stormy evening, and having the place to ourselves, we prepared some food and set up the TV. My friend brought his PS3 and we booted up Risk of Rain. I had played several times before, yet on this occasion everything felt different, and I was drawn in more than I had been before. Because of nights like this one, the nostalgia has always been a huge factor in my enjoyment. Oftentimes booting this game up with a group of friends has been a welcome escape from the outside world. I'm sure we all have games like that, but for me, only a few have stayed in my life. That's where Risk of Rain Returns comes in. This remaster of the 2013 original has new enemies, items, and characters, along with better and updated sprite work, backgrounds, and music. The revival of this game has brought back many good memories for me, and is a great way for me to play with friends, some of which I actually played with back in 2014 and 15. With all that being said, let's get into why Risk of Rain and Risk of Rain Returns are such memorable and impactful games for me. The game starts with dropping the player down from an escape pod into a dangerous and hostile environment. The gameplay loop is that of a 2D platformer. Ropes and geysers assist movement through the foreign world, where pits and lava hinder certain parts of environments. The true threat, however, lies in the endless hordes of enemies throwing themselves at the player. Progression is made at the end of each level. A teleporter spawns a boss. Defeating the boss and surviving long enough allows for progression to the next stage. The biggest tool at the player's disposal are the various chests and shops scattered about the stages. The gold dropped by fallen enemies can be used to open the chests and acquire new items. Depending on the rarity of the item, the effects can range from increasing your movement speed to making your attacks explode. It's a fight between the enemies, who grow stronger as time goes on, and the player, who grows through items. The final boss, Providence, tests the player's positioning, movement, and overall ability to dish out damage. In whole, the gameplay loop is a simple, yet effective roguelike with plenty of action and replayability. The success of the Risk of Rain series as a whole could be attributed in part to its musical score, composed by Chris Christodoulou. The fantastic soundtrack creates a sense of awe and scale that only a few other game soundtracks are able to replicate. The emotions that this soundtrack gives are honestly hard to put into words. Listen to any of the tracks and you'll be greeted by a flurry of wonderment and whimsicalness in one song, followed by an action-packed electric guitar solo in the next. I think the music best speaks for itself. Like many similar roguelikes, the method of unlocking characters and items is through doing runs in the game and completing specific challenges or objectives. Each character has a unique playstyle with alternate abilities that can also be unlocked, allowing for a plethora of ways to play the game. There are also artifacts to be unlocked, which grant the option to bend the game rules. Risk of Rain utilizes challenges to keep a sense of progression, as each achievement you get correlates with a new item or character to try out in future runs. Now, one facet of the game that has always been an important part of it for me is the multiplayer. With Risk of Rain Returns, online multiplayer is now officially supported, whereas in the original, only local co-op was practical. Multiplayer is an important part of the game for me because it adds a new element, teamwork. Usually, me and my friends pick different characters, and because of the differences in each survivor's kit, certain items may be better for one player compared to another. This incentivizes teams to try and calculate which item should go to who, optimizing their potential. Taking into account the very subjective strewn throughout the stage makes online multiplayer teams able to split up and try to cover more area, meeting up for important fights, such as the teleporter boss. Lastly, I would like to talk about one of my favorite aspects of Risk of Rain Returns, the environments. Each stage of the game hosts unique fauna, enemies, and aesthetics. The background art for any given environment has beautifully ornate scenery of the planet's ambience. All the levels have unique and intricate tile sets that invoke its own special atmosphere. If I wasn't being assaulted by enemies perpetually, the idea of sitting around some of these stages and taking in the environment would be very tempting. Well, that's Risk of Rain Returns. The original brought me dozens of hours of enjoyment and fun, and now the remaster has already consumed 25 plus hours of my life. If the game looks interesting, give it a try. And if you made it this far to the end of the video, I just want to give a personal thanks to you. I plan to make similar videos just like this one, and since you made it all this way, why not subscribe? After all, it doesn't cost anything, and it tells me that you want to see more videos like this one. With all that said, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.